My name is Vernae Taylor, and I grew up in Summit, New Jersey, born and raised. I love to laugh with my friends. I love to go to the movies. But recently, I became a published author. The Breakthrough. One of my best friends says it's insightful, it's inspiring, it's relatable. I mean, that meant so much to me that she said this about me, knowing me. But for you, it's going to be an up-close view of my challenges, my struggles, everything that I've been through, and how I made it out on the other side. So I believe that we are all breaking through, and I want you to break through too. So pick it up so it can change your life. And I've had choices that turned me into the woman that I am today. I managed to break past and break through all of those hard times. And this is true too. With the amazing group of authors I've asked to join me in the Breakthrough.
Greetings, beautiful people, and welcome to our Breakthrough Podcast meets the Breakthrough Project. Welcome back to those who have been with us since the top of the year when our Breakthrough Podcast emerged, and now our new TV series, The Breakthrough Project. But thank you so much for those that are just joining us for the first time. I definitely want to tell you a little bit about myself and who I am and who we are as the podcast and now the TV series. So for those that are here for the first time, thank you so much for spending your time with us. I am your host, Vernae Taylor. I am the entrepreneur, speaker, mentor, and creator and host of our Breakthrough Podcast and now the Breakthrough Project. So let me tell you where this all came from, where it all started. As you can see, Breakthrough behind me. It all started with a breakthrough. I really say it started with the breakdown. Okay. So I don't know if you guys know, but I'm going to be transparent. We're going to be real. This is a safe space for us. So my breakthrough and my purpose emerged out of a breakdown. Okay. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but a breakdown that led to a breakthrough. So I decided to do our Breakthrough Podcast where we can come together in a safe space, real people, real life, real experiences, telling our stories, right? And it's not so much about just telling the story, right? It's about the testimony, right? The test in that testimony and how you got from A to B, A to Z, how you got from step 1 to step 2, step 3, and giving you the breakthrough map to get there. Okay. So I know you're like, what the heck is a breakthrough map? I never heard of that before, right? I know what a map is, but a breakthrough map. I call it a breakthrough map because for me, I don't know about anybody else. I'm someone that has a really bad sense of directions. So whenever I am driving, child, I need a navigational system. I need somebody to tell me, okay, up about a mile away, you're going to make a right. And then, oh, there's something in the road. So there's going to be a fork in the road and you might want to slow down. And this is the speed limit. Sometimes we need a guide, right? So for me, a breakthrough map is that. It's just that, a navigational guide that a person can give you and to everybody that listens to our platform as to how they overcame a thing. Come on, somebody, because we are overcome by each other's testimonies, and that's what it's all about. And I say our because we're in this together. Everything that we're experiencing right now, the devastating times, the dark times, the perilous times, right? The shootings, the deaths, the disease, just everything that we're going through. It's something that we're all affected by. I don't care what social and economic status you've had. I don't care what type of level of education you have. I don't care your demographic, your race. Somewhere in this world, in our nation, and the United States of America, you have been affected, right? You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Okay. So we are in this together and I call it our Breakthrough Podcast. So our Breakthrough Podcast was birthed out of the idea that we can give you the breakthrough map to go from breakdown to breakthrough, from pain to purpose, from your past to living your greatest story. So what does that mean? The greatest story. The greatest story as an author, as you can see, this was my first major installment with Les Brown, Johnny Wibery, and other authors across the country. But as you can see, as an author, it's all about telling the story, right? But it's all about a lot of times taking what you've been given, right? Sometimes we're just taking the hand that we were dealt. We didn't have a chance to decide who our parents were going to be, where we were going to grow up, what type of life we were going to have, right? We simply take the hand that we're dealt and then we play that hand, right? We play the game. We do what we can. So I'm all about rewriting the story, rewriting the legacy, rewriting your future. rewriting the vision, right? And what you want to do and who you want to be, right? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be who your parents are or who they were. It doesn't necessarily have to be who everybody wants you to be. It's what you decide, right? You creating that vision and you writing your greatest story. So I don't remember who it was that said it, but I think it's unknown. I don't think I ever knew who said it, but I love this quote. It was very profound. And I want you guys to just go through this exercise with me for just a moment. He said something, he or she, the writer, said something along the lines of, if you close your eyes, right, and you imagine yourself, the greatest self, your highest self, right, without limitations, without borders, without pretense, without inhibition, right? Without judgment. Because sometimes it's not the judgment outside of us. Sometimes it's judgment that we even put on ourselves. But without those things, right? If you close your eyes and you imagine yourself in that way, that's who you are. That's exactly who you are. Your highest self, your greatest self, your most ideal self. Right? And if we start with that, if we lead with that, oh my gosh, there's no limit to what we can do, right? No limit to what we can do. So that is our Breakthrough podcast. That was birthed out of that whole idea, out of what I had been through and what I wanted to share with others, and then bring other people to the platform so they can share their stories as well, and giving you guys a safe space to dialogue, right? Because that's the only way we get through things. So we launched at the top of January, I believe the 6th or 7th on a Thursday. We air every single Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. UK time, here across all streaming platforms and on Mintwave Radio in the UK. So shout out to Mintwave Radio. That's awesome that we have an audience over there. They've been great in supporting and listening faithfully. And we are all across streaming platforms along with YouTube, Facebook, and some others. But that's where our Breakthrough podcast started. Okay. And then it wasn't until as of recently that we decided to expand, right? Because we want to elevate. Okay. We're all about elevate, right? What Sierra say? Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. Okay. So I get a little, beside myself when that song comes on. Oh, that song's so yummy. I have no idea where the yummy part comes from. Please, someone tell me right in and let me know where the yummy part comes from. But so we're expanding, we're elevating, right? And we always wanted to get to TV. So now we're on TV, and we have been welcomed by our new network, IBM TV, also known as Pod TV on Roku. So that means that you can find us on demand. You can find us on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, okay? And that is every Thursday as well, but at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. UK time. So we want to make sure that we catch everybody, right? Because some people, maybe they're entrepreneurs, right? So they'll be there and they'll be watching live at 11 a.m., doing brunch, okay? Ladies, we do brunch. But then there are some people that maybe they have to watch or listen during their lunch break, right? So 1 p.m. is a good time. And of course, in the UK, right before bedtime for them, when, they're winding down with their families, they can tune in to our Breakthrough podcast or the Breakthrough Project, where we bring some new, fresh, exciting, segments and exciting stories, people that were victorious, right? People that have gone through some things and are able to tell their story, but also it gives you some exciting things about myself, the creator and host, and kind of tapping into who I am as a person, right? And where I came from and how I came to be here. So that is our Breakthrough podcast and the Breakthrough Project. So I just want to let you know that we're going to have some new segments that we just tried out, one of which is the Breakthrough Talkback. I really love the Breakthrough Talkback. Like I said, it's all about getting to know me, getting to know the ins and outs of entrepreneurship, being an author, being a writer, being a creator, being a visionary. And I will be taking live questions. I get a lot of questions behind the scenes, but I'm bringing them to the forefront, bringing them to the platform, reading your questions aloud for the world to hear, right? And I'm answering them live, right? Real time, okay? Not listening and not reading these questions ahead of time, not really knowing what people are looking for. But you never know. Sometimes people ask a question that like kind of you secretly wanted to know. So it's always good to have that. We're also bringing you segments like the breakthrough moment, okay? Because when we are going through what we're going through, good times, bad times, highs, lows, valleys, sometimes we're taking 2 steps forward, we're taking 3 steps back. In those times, we need reminders, brief reminders, right? Whispers of who we are, whispers of who we can become, whispers of, the opportunities that await us, I should say, right? So we have the breakthrough moment where we'll just come in real quick, give you, a nice little gem and just drop it on you like boom, bang, right? And it's something real quick, because they say the attention span is shortened at this point. People ain't got time for that, okay? So we want to give it to you raw, we're going to give it to you straight, give it to you quick, fast, and hurry. Okay, that's the breakthrough moment. We're also bringing you segments like, so we do the breakthrough talk back, we do the breakthrough moment, and what are you breaking through? Okay, so we want to talk about some things that are current, some things that are plaguing us as a nation, as a community, as a country, and we don't want to ever, neglect those things. We don't want to ignore what people are going through, whether it be this horrible virus, whether it be the pandemic, whether it be the epidemic, right? Whether it be mass shootings, violence, destruction. There's just so many things, whether it be that we're talking about trafficking, we're talking about abuse, we're talking about, the rise of suicide. Breakthrough is all about our mental health, our space, our mental space, the self-care, the nurturing that we all need to give ourselves and we can give to others, right? So like I said, we're all in this together. So today I want to bring you a really, really special segment where we call it, what do we want to call it? We want to call it rest, but don't quit, okay? Rest, but don't quit. So what would you say if I told you that as a young child, you're going to be awarded the state? As a young child, you weren't going to have, a specific caretaker. You weren't going to have specific parents. You weren't going to have specific people that had custody of you. Okay, you're going to be awarded the state. You're going to be young, not really knowing what's going on, why you're not with your parents. You're not staying with your parents. You're kind of bouncing around here and there. What if I told you that, you're going to end up with your grandparent? You're going to end up with an older person, right? Older person that's an older generation that's going to take care of you, and you're not really going to know what's going on. What if I tell you that you're going to stay there, not really have, emotional connection to your parents in the way that you would like, right? You don't really have the physical contact that you would like with your parents. You don't really have that bond that you normally would have, like as a child. It's very important that a bond happens with the child and the mother. So what if I tell you that you didn't have that? Okay. And then I tell you that in your 20s, you're going to deal with the person for nearly a decade. And not only are you going to deal with a loss of identity, you're going to deal with, the belittling, sometimes a little bit of verbal abuse. You're going to deal with, not really knowing who you are, not really trusting yourself, trusting your voice, not knowing which way to go, just being led by just this idea of an us, right? You kind of joining with this person and feeling like that's where your purpose lies. That's where your joy lies. That's where your fulfillment, your whole larger meaning of life, it lies in this person. It lies in this person's eyes. What if I tell you that that's what you're going to experience for a decade? And then I tell you that at 30, at a pivotal moment, like they say for women, at 30, you're going to lose your father. You're going to lose your father in such a crazy way, very accelerated way, where you find out he has cancer and he's going into aggressive physical therapy, aggressive radiation, aggressive, I don't even know why I can't even think of it. what is it called? Not radiation. What is it called? It's cancer therapy. And it's so sad that I can't even think of it, but probably can't think of it because people say that it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Nobody wants to do it, right? Nobody wants to go through it. But what if I say that 30, you're going to lose your father? You're going to be signed to a contract and you're going to have to get out of that contract. You're going to be silenced for nearly a year, over a year, without performing, without doing what it is that you've always said that you love. You're going to breach your contract and get out of it. And you're no longer finishing what you started. You're going to sit down for a while. You are going to be changed, forever changed, and have no communication, not really have so much of a connection with your people, your friends, all the things that you love to do. You've lost motivation to do those things. And you don't know which way to go. What if I tell you that in that same year, you're going to lose your pastor. You're going to lose a mentor. You're going to lose people that were so important to you, that were so pivotal and so integral in your growth, in your development, in your spirituality. You're going to lose those people. Everything that you ever knew, everything that you put time, energy, and love in, gone, wiped away. What if I told you that you were going to experience that all from pretty much 0 to 30? What if I told you that's what you were going to experience? Where would it leave you? How would you feel? Would you feel like it's time to give up? Would you feel like God forgot about you? Would you feel like ashamed that, you can't talk to your family, you can't talk to your friends, you're not really sure how to process? What if I told you that was your first time encountering grief? What if I told you didn't even know what grief was? You didn't even know how to define it. What if I told you that you were going to kind of be silenced, where, you used to be an extrovert, but now you're like kind of recluse. You're kind of standoffish. You're kind of squeamish. You're kind of socially awkward. You don't want to really be around people. You're not finding joy and fulfillment of the things that you once did. What if I told you that that's what you were going to experience? Would you run and turn and run the other way? Would you just say, you know what, I'm throwing in the towel, put your hands up, like, I surrender, I give up, enough is enough? What if I told you that that same person that you the one that you found your light and love and joy and everything in, right, where you completely lost your identity? What if I told you that simultaneously as you're losing your father, that was going to come to an end? The person that you thought you were going to marry, the person that you're going to share your life with, right? They say at 30, you're supposed to have it together, right? You're supposed to figure it out. You're supposed to be building and coming into your own, only to find that all of it's crashing down. So I'm here to give you a little few pointers and to let you know that that's a real story. That's a true story. And how this person was able to get through it really is rooted in the pain, rooted in the questions, rooted in being stripped away from the titles, from the people, all the things that we think that make us valuable, make us worthy, right? These titles, these roles, these hats that we play, the people that we join forces with, right? We think that that's what makes us. No, it's really, who are you? What makes you tick? What makes you smile? What makes you feel, less than? Asking yourself the hard questions, that's one thing. Asking yourself the hard questions, having that moment to reflect and allowing yourself to feel whatever you're going to feel is what this person did, right? That's number one. Number two, rewriting the narrative. Okay, so I don't have this thing. I don't have this person. Now this is gone. I'm learning about me, right? Because it's nothing like learning about yourself when it's just you, when you just by yourself, right? And you got to sit with yourself. So learning about yourself, reflecting on the questions and having those hard questions. And then after rewriting that narrative, deciding that you're going to live, deciding that you're going to go on, deciding that you are going to make the difference. You're going to be the difference. The people that have left you, the people that have gone on, that you're going to have that success, right? And they say there's no greater success than, being happy, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, dusting your shoulders off, right? And trying again. So that person tried again. That person dusted themselves off. That person decided, I'm going to decide what it is that I want now, right? Apart from these things, I get to decide. I get to be what it is that I want to be. I get to be who I want to be. I get to go where it is I want to go now. Because now, not only are you living for yourself, but you're living for those that have gone, especially when you experience loss, especially when you experience grief. Some people leave us when they're young. Some people leave us when they're old. It's never easy. Because we would always prefer to have that person here with us. We prefer to have them close. We prefer to be able to touch them, right? To kiss them, to hug them, to tell them that we love them, and to hear their voice whispered back at us. But now that the person's gone on, and now that you still have breath in your body, you still have the opportunity and the chance and the gift, right? Because life is a gift, right? There's nothing like the present, right? They say the present is the present. That now that you can live and you can be what they couldn't be, you can do what they didn't have time to do. You can finish what they started, whether it be a foundation, whether it be something in their name and their legacy, whether it be writing a book, whether it be, sharing their story every chance you get, constantly talking about them. Right? Keeping them alive in your spirit, keeping them alive in your heart, keeping them alive in other people's hearts, right? Or letting people know who they were, right? Because sometimes, for example, we lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of people to police brutality, mass shootings. We lost a lot of people to the virus, right? And so now what we're doing, we're remembering them, whether it be a hashtag, whether it be a campaign online, whether it be, that we get together with people that were connected to them, so that we can feel closer to them. It's a way to live on. It's a way to get through. It's a way to break through. So I say that to say that with all of that devastation, with all of those challenges, with all of that disappointment, with all of that sadness and pain, came out of purpose. Out of that came drive. Out of that came passion for life. Out of that came a redirection. Out of that came legacy. So the message today that I want to leave you with is, it's okay to take a pause. It's okay to take a step back. It's okay to be silent. It's okay to be still. It's okay to be alone. Rest, but never, ever quit. I am your host, Vernae Taylor. You've been listening to our Breakthrough Podcast, Meets the Breakthrough Project, airing every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time across all streaming platforms and social media platforms. You can find us with midwayradio.co.uk, okay? You can also find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter and Twitch. And not only there, but you can find us on IBM TV Network, also known as Pod TV on Roku and on YouTube. So make sure you like, subscribe our Breakthrough Podcast across social media platforms, and stay locked in. Stay locked in and stay loaded. And don't you dare give up. Rest. It's okay to rest, but never ever quit. And until next time, keep breaking through. I'm your girl, Vernae Taylor, and this has been your Breakthrough Moment. Bye. Thank you so much for watching our Breakthrough Podcast, Meets the Breakthrough Project. Again, I'm your host, Vernae Taylor. But before you go, make sure you like and subscribe our Breakthrough Podcast across all streaming platforms and on YouTube. And you can also find Pod TV, which is on IBM TV Network, where we also air the Breakthrough Project. Before you go, I do also want to let you know that we have some books that are available. So you're going to go to subscribepage.com. I am breaking through to get this copy, okay? Where you see Les Brown, myself, Johnny Wimbrey, Nick Halligan, other authors across the country. And then, of course, some of the things we talked about in today's episode, my book, Letters to My Father, 7 Steps to Healing from the Loss of a Parent. So make sure that you get this as well. You can go to VernaeTaylor.com, or you can just find this on our Breakthrough Podcast or Vernae Taylor across social media platforms. So until next time, keep breaking through.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at Discover the Forest.